Well, this Sunday on Main Event Television, it is a triple header featuring a couple of Australians. It's headlined by Artur Beterbiev, who defends his light heavyweight world titles against Callum Smith, but also featured Australians Rowan Murdoch, who has a tough fight against super middleweight star Christian Mbili, and Jason Moloney defends his world title for the first time against Saul Sanchez. And I'm pleased to say that Jason joins me now live from Las Vegas before he makes the flight to Quebec City in Canada. And Jason, I hope that making that trip you've rugged up, because it's going to get seriously cold when you get to Quebec. I just had a look, it's minus 17 degrees today.
Yeah, mate, I'm a bit worried about that. I've got the long johns on and the beanie and the gloves and everything ready to go. But yeah, mate, I've been cold over here in Vegas, so I'm a bit worried about stepping into the chill of Quebec. But mate, I'll be locking myself in a heated hotel room and rugging up and just getting ready to fight. But yeah, I'm excited to get over there and fight in a new country, new territory, and put on a great performance and hopefully get some new fans.
You've got this luscious new head of hair as well. That's going to have to keep you warm.
It does, mate. Extra warmth up there. Perfect. Good timing.
Yeah, no, well, it looks great. I've seen the process you've gone through, so congratulations on that. On Quebec, a real boxing town. It's somewhere that has really embraced the sport and is right into the sport. You must be excited about getting in there amongst that atmosphere, because it's one of the best boxing cities really in the world.
Yeah, I am, man. It's such a great card to be a part of. Obviously, for me, I'd love to be headlining these shows, but this is a step forward. It's the first world title defense. But yeah, the stadium I've seen looks unreal. I think they've sold over or around 10,000 tickets already. So it's going to be a lively atmosphere. And yeah, I'm looking forward to putting on a great, exciting fight and making this a very memorable first defense and moving on to bigger and better things.
What's it been like for you over, and I know you've made so many sacrifices, both you and your brother, over recent years, but again, this time around, having Christmas and New Year's away from your young family, how did you cope with it this time around?
Yeah, this has been a big one, mate. I think this one hurt more than any other sacrifice I've probably had to make. And big sacrifice for myself and the team to all be over here at this time of year. But for me as a family, and especially with two young daughters, Christmas is a really special time of year, and generally a time that I step back from boxing and give the family the love and the time that I like to give them. And yeah, to be away on the other side of the world and training every day and having to watch them open presents over FaceTime did hurt. But I think these big sacrifices have really added fire to the belly, and I really feel like I'm in the best form of my career, and I feel so excited to get in there and fight this weekend, knowing the hard work I put in and the sacrifices I've made, and making sure that those sacrifices are worth it.
So this is the biggest sacrifice, and that includes spending, I don't know how many weeks you had in a hotel room stuck with your brother during the various quarantines that you had to do. This is harder than all of that.
Yeah, I think this one just hurt more. And I don't know, like having my oldest daughter's 4.5, and it's just such an awesome age for Christmas. She was just super excited for Santa to come. And, as I mentioned, Christmas has always been such a special time for my family. So, yeah, to be on the other side of the world and miss that, yeah, has really hurt. And as boring as it is to sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks and not be able to open the door and leave or be a normal human, yeah, this one hurt in terms of just what you feel you're missing out on. But it's obviously very important for me to squeeze every last drop I have out of myself and get the most out of my career. And now that I'm world champion and looking to achieve even greater and bigger things and see how far I can go in this sport, I knew it was a sacrifice that needed to be made. And this is the first step of my journey as a champion. I want to make sure that it's an impressive win and that we can move on to bigger and bigger fights and yeah, make this the best year of my life and the best year of my career.
How do you explain it to the kids that you're not going to be there? Do you say, I'm coming back with better presents? And how does it motivate you ahead of this sort of a fight to know another sacrifice, and clearly a very big one?
they're probably still getting their heads around what I do for a living, but they do know that obviously I do go away for long periods of time when there is a fight. So they get it. But yes, there is the pressure. I think they do think Santa is coming home with 2 suitcases full of toys. But I've got a lot of other stuff to bring back and a nice heavy belt to bring back as well. So I'll spoil them when I get home. But yeah, they've certainly missed me, and as they get older, it only gets harder. But as I said, mate, I'm willing to make the sacrifices because I want to see how far I can go in this sport. And I'm 33 tomorrow, Australia time, and I haven't got time to waste. And yeah, I want to see how good I can be and what I can achieve in this sport before it's all said and done. And first defense coming up, but yeah, I've certainly got some big goals this year and other belts that I want to win. So I'll do whatever it takes to make sure I can go as far as I can.
Happy birthday for tomorrow, Australian time, Jason. You've given a really prominent shout out there, so I'm sure that the well wishes will come flooding in as well deserved. Not that you get to celebrate until Sunday your time at the very earliest. Tell us about your opponent, Saul Sanchez, because a lot of Australians watching this and others around the world won't know a lot about him, but he is the WBO number 7. He's 20-2 with 12 stoppages, a Showbox alumni, and a pretty high quality and entertaining boxer. But how long's he been on your radar, and what did you make of him when he was suggested as the opponent for this fight?
Yeah, I've known of him for quite a while. Obviously, just being a big boxing fan myself, I tend to know most of the guys in and around my division, and actually was going to do some sparring with him a couple of years back when I was preparing for the Joshua Greer fight. We reached out and connected and tried to organise some sparring, but it didn't end up eventuating. But yeah, I've known of him for quite a while. He's a tough, gritty American Mexican that likes to come forward and put pressure and throw big shots. And, you know, he's going to be extremely hungry coming into a fight where he's fighting to become world champion, which is every fighter's dream, obviously. So expecting a very determined and hungry fighter on the other side of the ring. But I've done my homework and I've put in the hard work myself, and I don't believe his best is good enough. I believe I'm on another level to him, and it's about going out there this weekend and proving that, and proving why I'm the world champion and why I've got a belt over my shoulders, because I believe I'm the best in the division. And obviously everyone moving forward is going to be hungry to try and take away what I've got. But I work so damn hard to get this world title that it's not going to be taken away from me easily at all. Since winning the belt, I think I've only become more hungry and more determined. So I don't think he's got a hope of beating me, but obviously I've prepared for the absolute best Saul Sanchez there can possibly be, and I've done the hard work, and I'm ready to go and put on the best performance in my career and prove that I'm the best in the division.
When you have a look at his most notable wins, a lot of it comes from his left hook. It seems to be his key weapon. Is that something you've really paid attention to, or is that oversimplifying what he does?
No, he does have a good left hook. He's got a fairly decent kit of punches. He's got a good left hook to the body as well. But yeah, look, as I said, I don't think he's on my level, and it's about going there and proving that. I think stylistically, it's a great fight. It's going to be an exciting fight, and I love that he's going to be coming and bringing the fight to me. I think it's going to make for a great fight for the fans while it lasts. But ultimately, I just see myself being too good for him and catching him, and I'm looking to go there and make a statement in this fight and take him out. So it's going to be exciting, as I said, while it lasts. But I don't plan on him being able to go 12 rounds with me. And I think that to prove I'm the best in the division, that's what it takes. I've got to take this guy out and really make a statement and show what I'm about, and put a bit of a threat to the other champions in the other bantamweights in this division that I'm not an easy man to handle.
I'm sure all Australians would like to hear that you are planning on going out there and stopping this opponent. How much of that is because of your desire to get a stoppage after not having one for a little while, but also to take it out of judges' hands? I know you got one pretty crook scorecard in your world title victory against Vincent Astrolabio, or is it just about auditioning for these big fights on these big shows that could be coming up later in the year?
Yeah, all of the above, mate. It is about auditioning and making a statement. It is because I love knockouts, and I haven't had one in my last 2 fights. They've been sort of more boxing clinics and ones that I've, showed my skill or my class. But I like to be a well-rounded fighter. And as I said, then there's no better feeling than knocking another man out. It's, that's what we're trying to do. That's what I've trained so hard for the last few months, is to have an impressive performance. And there's nothing better than to finish a fight with a knockout and hit the home run and being able to celebrate all the hard work in one moment. And I think that's what's, as you said, that's what's required to audition for the big fights. They're the fights I want. I want to be headlining my own fights, my own shows, unifying this division. And I think going out there and putting on an impressive knockout victory is a huge step forward to making those things happen.
I mentioned that the drawn scorecard that you got in what was a pretty one-sided performance. We saw the Liam Wilson, whatever happened with that fight against Emmanuel Navarrete, no more prominently than what your brother went through in unbelievable scenes over there. Do you feel like you're, given you with Top Rank, the promoter, and you're the world champion, are you the A side here? He's an American, but you're fighting in Canada. Judges are probably going to be largely from over there. How do you feel going into these fights? Are you still an outsider, or are you the home fighter now?
Yeah, it's a weird one, mate. I'd like to think I'm the A side, given I'm a top rank world champion fighting on their show. But look, it's just the nature of the sport. The sport we love is that there is always plenty of controversy surrounding the fights, and I guess the judges' scorecards and the officiating. But yeah, I would love to take it out of the judges' out of the judges' hands and win this fight by knockout. I think any time you're in a close fight that goes to the scorecards, you're never sure what's going to happen, especially in foreign territory. So yeah, if I can take it out of their hands and win this fight by knockout, that's exactly what I plan to do. So it'll make for an exciting fight, and yeah, a special one. Looking to add to the highlight reel.
Your brother Andrew is on his way over. I don't know if he's arrived yet. I think he's actually going to meet you over there, isn't he? He's going straight to Quebec. Has it been pleasant in a way not having him around, because you've been almost joined at the hip through a lot of your recent careers, and even when you won the world title, he was still fighting the next week. Has it been refreshing being away from him, or have you missed him?
No, it has been refreshing. Which that's not a kick in his.
He won't see this. Don't worry, he won't see this.
Nah, as I've said, it's always great to be able to train with your brother, and there's no doubt that we've helped each other reach this level by pushing each other and having that competitive nature between each other. Whether we're in the gym or on the running track, we push each other to the limit. But it's been quite nice being over here and I guess feeling what nearly every other fighter feels like, that this is a singles, an individual sport, and these fights are all about me. And it's been quite nice to be in the gym and every focus is about me and my session and my training and my game plan. We get home and we watch my opponent and my sparring sessions back, and the full focus has been on me and what I can do to improve every day. And it's been quite refreshing. I feel really focused and yeah, really motivated for this fight. I feel like maybe the long layoff has helped that as well. I'm just so excited to finally be in fight week again. Feels like it's been a long time coming, and yeah, I feel just so excited to get in there and put on a great performance and prove why I've got this world title.
How do you look back on winning the world title against Astrolabio? Because clearly it was a magnificent win for you and it was the culmination of a dream, but then you didn't get to come home. You went from Stockton, California to Vegas where Andrew was fighting, and unfortunately he was stopped and savagely stopped as well when you were in the corner. So you didn't really get the chance to celebrate, and then you came home sort of a winner, but it was clearly not a complete victory for the Moloneys, and you are so close and so identifiable as sort of one unit. So did you miss out on something there?
Yeah, I did. And I know he feels bad about that, Andrew, which he's not to blame. But obviously, that last trip was all about doing the double. You know, Team Moloney going away and fighting 1 week apart and both coming back world champions. And yeah, there's no doubt that him losing that fight really hurt and took away from I guess, the joy of my victory a little bit. And, you know, that I don't hold that against him, but it does make me really want to make this one the moment that I've been working for so long. You know, you always dream of the moment of becoming world champion and the elation that comes with that. And for me, I didn't get that. I don't know if I've thought about it a lot since why maybe it didn't feel sweet. And look, like, don't get me wrong, it was amazing to achieve the dream. But one, I think, is because I know that I'm capable of more and that there is bigger things ahead and I can do more than just be a world champion. I really believe that I've got what it takes to achieve a lot more than what I have, which is what motivates me and inspires me every day to keep working hard, because I know there's much more to come. But also, yeah, the shift of that, I don't know if it was the scorecards, the crowd booing, you know, it's sort of, when I was announced the winner, it was relief, a lot of relief, but it wasn't that thrill, that buzz, that joy that I was really hoping for. And going out there and defending this belt now and proving why I am world champion and putting on a really spectacular performance, and it all being about me, I think that's going to make this one really special and maybe that moment that I've been dreaming of my whole life. So I'm really looking forward to that.
We'll just talk briefly about what might be next. But on the way there, what was it like being in the corner for Andrew? And I know you don't want to go back to that place, particularly in fight week for a particularly long time, but it must have been really tough as a brother and as someone in the corner, seeing what he went through, and then the nature of the knockout and the celebrations after the knockout that Junta Nakatani and his team had. What did that feel like to you?
Yeah, that was one of the nights you just want to forget. Terrible being in the corner, watching the fight play out as it did, and thinking, do I look after my brother here and pull him out, or do I give him the opportunity to achieve his dream and become world champion in this huge fight in Las Vegas? And him begging us to let him go out for the last round and giving him the opportunity for him to then obviously go out the way he did, which obviously you never want to see your brother get knocked out that way. And, you know, it was devastating. And, you know, everything that went on from that, you know, having to take his son back to my hotel room to make sure he was safe while Andrew was in hospital, and feeling like I hadn't done what a brother should do and protect his brother and everything like that. But since I've been able to put myself at peace, because Andrew wanted nothing more than to be given the opportunity to go out there in the last round and win the fight. He's a warrior and he didn't want to be saved in the corner and wonder what if. He wanted to go out there and give it everything he had, and couldn't be prouder for the way he went out there and did that. But yeah, that night was one of the worst nights you can imagine. And now Nakatani wants to move into my division, and I've imagined and dreamt about knocking that guy out a million times over. So if he plans to hang around in this division, then that's obviously a fight that I've thought lots about and would welcome. But first things first, Sanchez, knock him out and make a statement. But definitely this year is all about proving I'm the best in the division, and that involves unifying, beating any of the other champions, being involved in the biggest and the best fights possible. Manny Rodriguez, I definitely want revenge over him. Takuma Inui, there's history there, given that his brother beat me, so I would love to get some sort of revenge over him. And yeah, whether Nakatani is successful over Santiago and wins the WBC belt, then obviously, as I said, yeah, I would love that fight and to get revenge for Andrew there. And I've thought about that many times, and there'd be nothing sweeter than knocking him out and getting revenge there. So there's some exciting fights that I hope to be a part of this year. But that don't happen if I don't beat Sanchez this weekend. So I'm very focused and determined on doing that.
Yeah, clearly that's where I was headed. It's a rocky story, isn't it? If you, now that Nakatani is in your division fighting for a world title against Santiago, We know that Vasily Lomachenko is coming to Australia to fight against an Aussie and George Kambosos sometime in April or maybe May to be co-main on that show, fighting against Nakatani with your brother in your corner. It's sort of the perfect boxing story, isn't it? It's a dream.
It is, isn't it? Could you imagine how good that will feel? I know I've imagined it many times, and I know I can do it. So if that fight presents itself, I would absolutely love that, and I believe I can knock Nakatani out and get revenge for Andrew, and to do that on home soil in front of my family, who would absolutely love for me to get that revenge, would be just you couldn't even imagine of something more amazing than that. But yeah, if it's not him, Manny Rodriguez, Takuma Inui, like, I just want the biggest and best fights possible, and I want to prove I'm the best in the division. And these are the guys that are holding belts and claiming they're better than me. So let's bring on the big fights and find out who's the best.
Yeah, amazing storylines with all of them. Emmanuel Rodriguez, you had a controversial loss to in the World Boxing Super Series. Takuma Inoue, whose brother you fought for world titles and had a rough night against. Have you spoken to Top Rank or via your management about what you would like to do if you do get through? And clearly, we're not overlooking Saul Sanchez, but have you started moving towards that? Because plenty of talk, obviously, that you deserve a place on that Lomachenko card.
Yeah, definitely. I've made it pretty well known that I do want those unifications and those big fights. But yeah, I haven't let the focus shift away from Saul Sanchez. So obviously, get the job done this weekend and then really push forward for those big fights. Me and Manny Rodriguez have sent a few DMs over Instagram, and we both want the fight. So hopefully that one can happen next. But as I said, if he can't, I just want the biggest and best fights possible. But there's some great, exciting fights out there, and I just want to be a part of them. And if we can do them in Australia on a massive show like Kambosos, Lomachenko, then that'd be a dream come true.
What's the tone of your DMs with Manny Rodriguez? Are they pleasant, or have they got an edge to them?
There's an edge to him. He retired for a couple of days. I don't know if you saw that, and then quickly changed his mind and started calling me out again. And I don't think he's sure what he wants to do, but I'm sure what I want to do, and that's get revenge over him before he retires again. So yeah, we've had some messages. They're short, they're sweet, and they're blunt, but yeah, we make it pretty well known that we both want to fight each other.
Geez, you've got a bit to do. You're 33 now, and you've got at least 3 guys that you have to fight to gain revenge, and as part of your Rocky-style storylines. You've got some stuff you need to work out. This has to be a busy year, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and that's why I'm so stoked to be fighting so early in the year. And then obviously, as we touched on, the April-May time frame works perfect as well. And then let's get another 1 or 2 in after that, and finish the year with 4 great wins and a multiple belts over my shoulders. That's what I'm after, and that's why, yeah, you know, I've got big dreams, and as you said, the time's ticking away. So I'm just working extremely hard and making sure that by the end of my career, I have squeezed every last ounce of my ability and my potential out of me, and I've gone as absolute far as I can go, and I will never die wondering how good I can be, because I've given this sport my life.
Comparatively, last year was quiet, and largely because you busted your hand in that world title victory. How has the rehab been? How bad was your hands, and how's it now? Is there any impediment to anything that you're doing, or is it completely recovered?
Yeah, it was frustrating, mate. Obviously, winning the title in May and not fighting again because of the hand injury. But I was just back in the gym and working on the left and doing what I could do and running and working around it. But it did take quite a while. It was quite a slow recovery process. And then obviously a lot of rehab to build that strength back in it and make sure that it wasn't something that was going to drag on for the rest of my career and cause me any other trouble down the line. So it was a long, slow process, and you know, in hindsight, not fighting until now, even though frustrating, was good because it has given the hand, a great amount of time to heal, recover, and get strong again. And now it feels great. I've been letting it go and making sure that I've got full confidence in it, in my sparring. And yeah, it's given me no issues this camp. And I'm really looking forward to having two good hands and showing what I can do when I've got a right as well as the left.
Always nice to have another Aussie prominently placed on a card that you're involved in as well. I'm sure Rowan Murdoch has a really tough fight against Christian Mbili, but he always turns up in great condition. I don't know if you've dealt with Rowan in the lead up to this fight, but you'll be seeing him shortly in Quebec. So that Aussie support and the camaraderie has to help.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, we've shot a couple of messages, and obviously, yeah, stoked to have another Aussie on the card and involved in a big fight too. It's that's a huge fight, and this is the little Aussie takeover we've called it. So yeah, we're looking forward to going out there and both putting on great performances. I hope that Rowan gets the job done, and we add, I guess, a bit of that. Aussies are really starting to gain respect on the world stage for the fighters we're bringing along, and obviously we've got multiple world champions at the moment, but so many fighters that are on that cusp of fighting for world titles this year. So it's great that the Aussies are starting to get that respect, and yeah, going out there and having two good wins on this huge show is only going to help that cause. So I'll make sure I get the job done, and I'll be wishing Rowan all the best and cheering him on and making sure he brings this one home as well. And yeah, it's going to be a great day for Aussie boxing.
There's another Sydney-based fighter, Imam Katayev, who's on this card as well. But just your thoughts on the main fight, because this is an outstanding card of boxing that people will be able to see on a Sunday in Australia on Main Event. And Artur Beterbiev is a killer in the light heavyweight division, and he takes on Callum Smith, who people would know from some major fights globally. What do you think? Do you give Callum Smith any chance against someone like Beterbiev?
I actually do, mate. Really big fan of Beterbiev, but I've known of Callum Smith a long time. We went to the Commonwealth Games together in 2010. Obviously, he was there for England, and I was there as an Aussie. But I've followed him throughout his whole career, even back in the amateurs, and I really rate Callum Smith. And I think his move into the light heavyweight division has really suited him. He's looked great his last couple of fights, and he can really punch himself. So it's not going to be one-way traffic. And I actually do give Callum Smith a really good chance in this fight. Obviously, it could go either way, but I fancy his chances, and it's going to be a very entertaining fight and a great card to be a part of. So I'm very grateful.
All right. Well, just finally, your fight, we believe, should be around 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. That's for the New South Welshmen and for the Victorians. This Sunday, you'll see it live on Main Event Television. Two more fights to come on the broadcast after that in Murdoch against Mbili and the main event, Beterbiev against Callum Smith. Just a final word, Jason, because people in Australia always love to know when your fights are on and where they can watch them, and this is a good time. Why should they be tuning in to watch you and Saul Sanchez this Sunday on Main Event?
Yes, all the Aussies, please get behind me this weekend. Tune in to Main Event and KO Sports, and cheer me on as I make the first world title defence. It's it means so much to me to have the support of my country and to be one of Australia's world champions at the moment. And I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance for you all. And yeah, cheer me on as I bring this belt back down under.
Yeah, we'll all be cheering you on, Jason, and hopefully this time when your name's read out after what is ideally a statement victory, you feel like a world champion. You feel like you've got that moment because no one else deserves it as much as you or more than you, because yeah, this is something you worked for a long time, and hopefully it feels right this time.
Yeah, mate, I can't wait. I can't wait. As you said, it worked so long and hard to get this belt, and it's going nowhere. So I'm looking forward to having the hand raised and hearing and still this weekend.
Yeah, so much. Thanks so much, Jason Moloney. Talk to you soon, mate, and good luck this Sunday.
I appreciate it. Good to speak to you, mate. Chat again soon.